Alright. Alright. Shalom, shalom. Alright, shalom. Alright. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Fakadash. This video is going to be entitled let the bad times roll, right? We'll let the good times roll away, right? As we can see, all types of things are popping up right now, man. And things are finna get real, okay? So we're gonna get into this real quick. Unfortunately, I forgot my other device, but we're gonna be going right through the spirit, man. Okay, so we're gonna kick it off like this, man. Shalom! I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Fakadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders that came before me that brought me into this truth. Yet again, this video is going to be entitled, May the Good Times Roll Away. Or let the bad times roll, because the bad times are rolling in right now. Now before we kick this off, of course, we want to say fair use. Any of the music that's playing in the background is not owned by me, okay? All right, this is for educational purposes only. I will not be getting any monetary compensation for this whatsoever. Again, I say fair use. We're going to go to the book of Hosea, chapter 6, and verse 5, all right? Because these prophecies are going to keep on rolling through until that very end, man. And you're not going to have an excuse whenever these things begin to pop off, all right? So this is the book of Hosea, chapter 6, and verse 5. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth. You see that one? So of course, man, the prophecies are going to keep on rolling out, man, whether they like it or not. And if they don't like it, that's 300% okay, right? Because whenever that judgment comes, they're not going to have anything to say besides, I'm sorry, if they say that. Let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 6 and verse 5 in the NLT. All right, where are we at here? Yep, this is Hosea chapter 6 and verse 5 in the NLT. I set my prophets to cut you to pieces, to slaughter you with my words, with the judgments as inescapable as light. You see that one? So that's how detrimental it is to get caught inside the word of the Lord, man. And the only thing that you could really do that's beneficial to you is to heed the word of the Lord. But if you want to seek that, or if you want to receive that judgment, those plagues that are going to come upon you, then what you're going to do is do adverse to the word of the Lord, right? That's what you're going to do, right? And that's okay. Now, let's go straight to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 7, right? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their forehead. You see that one? So we're going to keep on coming out here, man. Again, whether you like it or not. All right? The Most High has sent men out here to hew you by the word of the Lord, man. We're to cut you to pieces, and we do that spiritually. And eventually the Lord is going to make it to where his elect are going to be doing that literally. All right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5. Verse 14. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 5. We'll start at verse 12. Well, actually, we'll start at verse 11. For the house of Israel and the... Oh, shoot. My goodness. For the house of Israel and for the house of Judah have dealt very treacherously against me, saith Yahweh. They have bellied Yahweh and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine. So that's what our people say, man. They are so proud and arrogant, they actually believe that they're not going to be seeing any of the set perils described in the scriptures, right? And the prophets shall become wind, and the word is not in them. Thus shall it be done unto them, right? So they think that the things that the men of the Lord are saying around the earth, they think that that's not going to happen to us. In actuality, that's just going to happen to you, right? That's the ignorance of our people. Wherefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them, right? So the Most High is going to make his word like fire, and he's going to be making the people that scoff and that run their mouth and that try to come up against the scriptures, he's going to make them like wood, and it's going to swallow them up. It's going to burn them alive, man. It's going to completely destroy them, right? Particularly in that thermonuclear destruction. Let's go to 23, part of it, 29. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 29. Is not my word like as a fire, saith Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces, right? So the Most High's word is like a fire, man, right? Or like a hammer that breaks the rocks in pieces. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 17, right? If I can pull it here. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 17. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Again, man, that sword, or Salakia, that word of the Lord is like a sword, man, that cuts people all up and down the place, man. They don't even understand what's happening to them, right? They try to come up against it, but then they start, it's like they're punching up against a brick wall, man. They can't handle it. They can't handle it or maintain it. We're going to go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 12, right? Right here. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 1. The word of Yahweh also came unto me, saying, Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house, which have eyes to see and see not. They have ears to hear and hear not, for they are a rebellious house, right? Who is that talking about? That's talking about the children of Israel, right? Who primarily consist of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans today, in general, of course, as well as the other Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth that look like the other nations, right? But again, this is a rebellious house. Whenever you come up to it, whenever you come up to them, then what do they say? You know, not my God, right? They say that the law's done away with, right? They say you're racist, all this other nonsense, right? They say everybody can be saved. They say all these different things, man, just to get away and skirt your responsibility as an Israelite, man. Skirting or trying to run away from the covenant that the Most High made with your fathers, man. Before we continue in Ezekiel, 12, we're going to go to Acts 26. Matter of fact, we probably should go to 13, but we'll go to 26 first. This is the book of Acts, chapter 26, and verse 6. And now I stand and am judged for the hope of the promise made of God unto our fathers. So again, the promise was made unto the fathers of the children of Israel. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, going down to the 12 tribes, as well as their progenitors moving forward, right? So like, not their progenitors, but their descendants, right? Verse 7 in Acts 26, unto which promise our 12 tribes, instantly serving God day and night, hope to come, right? So the children of Israel, or the elect, of course, are hoping for that day of the Lord to come, man. Right? They're waiting, patiently waiting on that day, like it reads in Revelation, the 14th chapter. Okay? We're going to continue in Ezekiel 12. Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 3. Therefore, thou son of man, prepare thee stuff for removing, and remove by day in their sight, and thou shalt remove from thy place to another place in their sight. It may be they will consider, though they be a rebellious house. So, of course, Ezekiel was doing different things that would symbolize what was going to happen, or what did happen to the children of Israel, right? In hopes that the children of Israel would turn back towards the Lord. But did that happen? No. So what happened? They went into slavery, into Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome. These different nations ruled over the children of Israel, right? Let's go to Isaiah 30. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not. So again, whenever the prophets of the Lord of ancient times came up to the children of Israel, these warnings were brought forth, but of course they didn't want to hear the warnings, right? Like with Elijah. Ahab didn't want to hear the warning of Elijah, right? All these different prophets were slain, like Jeremiah, right? Not to say that he was slain, but he was persecuted, right? The same thing happened with the prophets or the apostles in the New Testament. You see the same thing occur with Peter. You see the same thing occur with Paul, James, Stephen, so on and so forth, man. Obviously, Habashah. Okay? Verse 10 in the book of Isaiah, the 30th chapter, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, right? And that's what a majority of our people hold on to, man. They want us, or they want the men of the Lord, they want their prophets, quote unquote, to prophesy deceits as opposed to right things, right? Right? The correct things. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter, right? And that's what a majority of our people do, man. They put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter, pardon me. They say that, gangbanging, that's fun, right? Selling and slinging drugs, that's fun, right? Being a whore, that's fun, right? Being a deadbeat father, that's fun, right? Having indiscriminate intercourse with multiple women, and having indiscriminate intercourse with multiple men, that's a fun thing, right? But whenever we tell you that's a wrong thing, that's a bad thing, you shouldn't be doing those things, because that can lead to all kinds of diseases, that can lead to your death, that can lead to poverty, all different types of things, man. And ultimately, it can lead your dumb ass into destruction, man, because the Lord is going to kill you for that, man. Again, Isaiah 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight, right? And that's a good amount of our people, man. Wise in our own eyes, man. Let's go to Proverbs, the 4th chapter. Yep. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 10. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. You see that one? So if you receive the great sayings, or the intelligent or wise sayings of Solomon, right? right? That were passed down to him of ancient time, right? Some being influenced by King David. Then you're going to be able to, then you're going to have a long and prosperous life, right? So again, hear, O my sayings, hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble, right? So the Most High is going to make sure that you stay on a righteous path, man, on a straight track. And you don't fall, you don't stumble, you don't deteriorate in the works of the Lord. You're only going to be on point, man. Let's go to Proverbs 1, right? Proverbs, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 22. So, of course, the Lord has already put the scriptures here. The Lord has already put his word out, man. And he has men that are teaching, dispensing the word all over the earth. But again, a majority of our people don't want to hold on to the word of the Lord. A majority of our people want to hold on to simplicity. So you have to ask yourself, right? Hey, you have to ask yourself this. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So of course, fools hate knowledge. Fools can't stand the commandment of the Lord. Fools will try to make laws in the Lord and say that the commandments of the Lord are irrelevant. You don't have to keep them anymore. So now you have death and destruction all throughout your country. And that's good for your country, man. Your country needs destruction, man, because it's not based on anything wonderful. It's not based on anything spiritual. It's based on everything that's carnal and everything that's predestined to completely destroy you, man. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. So if you don't turn, then what's going to happen? The Most High is going to keep back his words from you, man. The Most High is going to keep back his spirit. Because I have called, and you refused, I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded, right? So, again, the Lord has put out his hand so that you can come towards her, turn toward him, but of course you refuse. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh, right? So the Most High is going to mock and laugh and scoff at the calamity that's going to befall the earth, primarily the wicked 2/3 of the children of Israel, as well as the other nations, right? But this is primarily for the children of Israel anyway, right? The other nations already have their judgment. They already have their destiny set up. But at this point right now, we're just waiting for these bad times to continue to roll, man. And these good times to roll away. Okay, the good times of America are going to soon cease, man. Are going to soon cease. In actuality, you can see the good times ceasing right now, man. Right? You can see, again, we've run into this before. You have a concept or a unfortunate situation or a circumstance that people are facing called the working homeless. Right? Imagine that. You're working in America and you're still homeless. You're working like a slave, but you still can't afford to put food on your table. You can't even afford a table, right? You can't afford to shelter yourself. You have to live out of your car, or you have to live in a tent, right? The working homeless, that's America for you, right? That's your country. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 1. Something going. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. You see that one? So again, man, if you actually keep the commandments of the Lord, right? You hold on to the ways of the Lord, then what's going to happen? You're going to get a long life, a wonderful life. In the spirit, man, because eventually, right, the Lord is going to finally send his son, Yahushua, back to redeem his people and to completely annihilate this place and give his elect everlasting life, right? His people everlasting life. Before we go back to Proverbs, the first chapter, let's go to Joshua, the first chapter. This is the book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, and thou mayest, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy ways prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success, right? So, if you hold on to the ways of the Lord, and you meditate on the scriptures, day and night, then you're gonna make your ways prosperous. But if you don't, what's gonna happen, man? Your ways are gonna be detrimental to yourself, right? Let me go to Judges chapter 5. Oh, man. Whew. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to continue on Proverbs, the first chapter, and verse 25. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Let's get that in the NLT real quick. Okay. Yep, okay. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and 26 in the NLT. So I will laugh when you are in trouble. I will mock you when disaster overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you. When they cry for help, I will not answer. Though they anxiously search for me, they will not find me. For they hated knowledge and chose not to fear Yahweh. Right? So again, because you didn't want to fear the Most High, then what's going to occur to you? You're going to deal with the ways of this world, man. You're going to be dealing with all kinds of insane madmen whenever Jacob's trouble finally reaches its peak, right? You're going to be dealing with famine, right? You're going to be dealing with unemployment, right? You're going to be dealing with poverty. You're going to be dealing with death. You might get injured. Who knows, man? All kinds of different things. And not to say that won't happen to the men of the Lord. Brothers going to have to, matter of fact, brothers going to have to deal with all kinds of different things, right? We're not exempt from, the judgment, right? Because we've all done things that are worthy of death. But ultimately, we have faith that all the works that we do and the faith that we have is going to be rewarded on us, or it's going to be a token in which we'll be able to get entrance into the kingdom of heaven, right? Even if the Most High takes us out on this side, right? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble, right? So, of course, whenever you come to serve the Lord, you have to be prepared to serve the Lord. And you have to be prepared for temptation. You have to understand that that's going to come, man. You have to be prepared for temptation. You have to be able to, or you have to get yourself prepared to say no to a lot of things, man. A lot of things that you said yes to in the world, like smoking weed, selling drugs, who knows, man, popping the next man's wife, right? All kinds of different things, right? You're gonna have to be prepared to say no to those things, man. And the more you say no, the more you're going to get built up in the spirit, and the Lord is going to reward you for those things, man. At the very end. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 3. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Right? So again, man, it's of the utmost importance that you continue to endure until the very end, so you may be increased, right? So you may be rewarded. Okay? We're going to go back to Proverbs chapter 1. Again, Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 29 in the NLT. For they hated knowledge and chose not to fear Yahweh. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way. Let me run that back real quick, man. That was heavy. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 30. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of their own, the bitter fruit of living their own way, choking on their own schemes. You see that one? So again, man, the Lord is going to be making it to where, just like you said, you had free will, you could do whatever you felt like doing, and you thought that the Most High was not going to repay you for all the nonsense that you did. The Most High is going to be making you choke on the bitter fruit of your own way, man. Choking on the schemes of your own way. For simpletons turn away from me to death. You see that one? So the simple ones are going to turn away from the Most High, right? But they're going to be turning away from the Most High and walking straight into death, right? Fools are destroyed by their own complacency, but all who listen to me will live in peace, untroubled by fear of harm. You see that one? So the ones that want to keep the commandments of the Lord, the ones that want to serve the Lord in spirit and in truth, are not going to taste death, right? Right? In a spiritual sense. Let me get this in the NLT. Okay. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 26 and 14, and this is in the NLT. All right. However, if you do not listen to me or obey all these commands, and if you break my covenants by rejecting my decrees, treating my regulations with contempt, and refusing to obey my commands, I will punish you. I will bring sudden terrors upon you. You see that one? So the Lord is going to be bringing forth sudden terrors and punishments upon those that want to turn away from the Lord. Wasting diseases and burning fevers that will cause your eyes to fail and your life to ebb away. You will plant your crops in vain because your enemies will eat them. I will turn against you and you will be defeated by your enemies. Those who hate you will rule over you, and you will run even when no one is chasing you. You see that one? So those are the punishments that the Lord is going to put upon you, man. You don't want to serve the Lord, then the Most High is going to be completely annihilated. Right? Let's go to... We're going to go to Isaiah. We're going to stay in the NLT for a moment. All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 8 in the NLT. Now go and write down these words, write them in a book. They will stand until the end of time as a witness that these people are stubborn rebels who refuse to pay attention to Yahweh's instructions. They tell the seers, stop seeing visions. They tell the prophets, don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things, tell us lies, right? That's what these people, a majority of Americans say, right? That's what the American populace says. They say, we don't want to hear those wonderful visions of the Lord. We don't want to hear the judgment that's going to be falling upon the earth. What we do want to hear is the right, not the right things, the smooth things. We want to hear the things that make us feel good, right? We want to hear the things that make our ears tingle, right? The appealing things. Well, guess what, man? A lot of this truth is unappealing, man. It's a bitter pill to swallow. Understanding that the Most High is going to be destroying 2/3 of His people. Understanding that the Lord is going to be putting all these other nations into slavery. For the average person, that's going to be a bitter pill to swallow, right? But to the elect, it's going to be like, whoa, this is music to your ears, right? This is what I've been searching for all my life, right? The Spirit is going to be just awakened in you, man. Nonetheless, again, Isaiah 30 and verse 10. They tell the seers, stop seeing visions. They tell the prophets, don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things. Tell us lies. Forget all this gloom. Get off your narrow path. Stop telling us about your Holy One of Israel, right? That's what they say, man. They like to run their mouth like that, and that's okay. Let's go to Isaiah 34. Pardon me. Okay, yep. There's the book of Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 1. Come here and listen, O nations of the earth. Let the world and everything in it hear my words. For Yahweh is enraged against the nations. His fury is against all their armies. He will completely destroy them, dooming them to slaughter. Their dead will be left unburied, and the stench of rotting bodies will fill the land. The mountains will flow with their blood. The heavens above will melt away and disappear like a rolled up scroll. You see that one? So this is going into the thermonuclear destruction, the Third World War, and the destruction of these nations that try to come up against the God of Israel, right? Or the culmination of these different, or the culmination or the peak of World War III, in which the Most High is going to return or bring His Son and the band of angels back to bring forth the magnificent and wonderful destruction upon all the heathen, right? Their dead will be left unburied, and the stench of rotting bodies will fill the land. The mountains will flow with their blood. The heavens above will melt away and disappear like a rolled up scroll. The stars will fall from the sky like withered leaves from a grapevine, or shriveled figs from a fig tree, right? That's what's going to be That's what's going to be occurring, man. Magnificent destruction on the earth, man. What do those stars represent, man? That's talking about the missiles that the Lord is going to be using to take out these different nations, particularly to take out Esau, Edom, man, and Babylon the Great, right? As well as the laser beams the Lord is going to be using with His chariots to bring forth even more catastrophic destruction on the heathen, right? This is verse 5 in Isaiah, the 34th chapter. And when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. The sword of Yahweh is drenched with blood and covered with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of rams prepared for sacrifice. Yes, Yahweh will offer a sacrifice in the city of Bozrah. He will make a mighty slaughter in Edom. Right? The Most High is going to be making a mighty slaughter in the land of Edom. And what's the modern land of Edom? That's talking about Babylon the Great, obviously. The United States of America. Right? Where were we? Yep. Let me read verse 5 again. And when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom, the nation I have marked for destruction. The sword of Yahweh is drenched with blood and covered with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of rams prepared for sacrifice. Yes, Yahweh will offer a sacrifice in the city of Bozrah. He will make a mighty slaughter in Edom. Right? So the Most High is going to be the Most High is going to be making a mighty slaughter, tons of destruction in Babylon the Great. Even men as strong as wild oxen will die. The young men alongside the veterans. The land will be soaked with blood, and the soil enriched with fat. For it is the day of Yahweh's revenge. For it's like the year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel. You see that one? So all the wickedness that these Edomites did carried out all kinds of punishments upon the children of Israel. Of course, by the hand of the Lord, because the nation of Israel sinned, right? But all these different things, these catastrophes that happen to the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's going to be a recompense upon their own head, right? By the Lord. Let's go to we're going to go to the book of Ezekiel. Oh, so like it. The 25th chapter. Okay. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25 and verse 12. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it. And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. So the Most High is going to be revenging these Edomites, these so-called white people, for the wickedness that they've done to the children of Israel, right? The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? As well as the other Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth that look like the other nations. And verse 14 in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh. You see that one? So the good Lord is going to be carrying out judgment upon the Edomites for the wickedness that they did to the children of Israel. Right? Now it's time to go to the book of Ezekiel. We're going to get this in the NLT real quick. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25 and verse 12 in the NLT. This is what the sovereign Lord says. The people of Edom have sinned greatly by avenging themselves against the people of Judah. Therefore, says the sovereign Lord, I will raise my fist of judgment against Edom. I will wipe out its people and animals with the sword. I will make a wasteland of everything from Teman to Dedan. I will accomplish this by the hand of my people Israel. They will carry out my vengeance with anger, and Edom will know that this vengeance is from me. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. See that one? So the good Lord is going to be carrying out death and destruction by the hand of his people, Israel, right? Upon the Edomites for all the evil that they've done to the children of Israel, okay? Okay. Let's go to it. Yes, indeed. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And in verse 4. And Yahushua said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall call in my name, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You see that one? So again, we have rumors of wars. We quite literally have rumors from CNN and Fox News stating that the United States of America or Donald Trump is going to begin sending strikes on Iran by this weekend, right? Again, wars and rumors of wars. You have China that's coming up or running their mouth saying that they're prepared to defend Iran, right? Again, wars and rumors of wars. But these things must come to pass, right? So again, let the good times cease, right? Where we are here. This is Matthew 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And yes, indeed, the children of Israel, by and large, are hated of all nations. You can't tell me that the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans don't have a horrible reputation amongst all nations, especially the so-called blacks, right? The so-called African Americans have a horrific reputation amongst the nations, right? Right? But that's because Judah is the head tribe, and there's no getting around that, right? Let's keep on reading. Skipping down to verse 11. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that endureth, he that shall endure it until the end, the same shall be saved. So again, a majority of people might get into it for a moment, but then eventually they're going to be taken away because of the ways of this world. They're going to be disenchanted, and they're going to say, man, I'm sick of serving the Lord. I don't want to obey the Most High anymore. What I'd rather do is smoke weed until my lungs blow up, right? What I'd rather do is have indiscriminate sex with all kinds of different beasts, man. All kinds of different strange things, man. In America, anything goes, right? That's why, and whenever you understand that, that's why it's not a really a shocking thing to see the things that are found in the Epstein files, man. It's not a shocking thing to hear these different revelations that are coming from these dignitaries, man, right? These congressmen, these people in these high places, man. Right? It's not a strange thing. It's not it's not anything that surprises you, because you know that America is the land of the lost, man. It's the home of the wicked, the valley of the dry bones, right? Go to it real quick. Yep, that's Psalms. Psalms 23. Okay. Yep. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 23, and verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You see that one? So again, the Most High has his people sitting in the valley of the dry bones, man. The shadow of the valley of death, right? And that's what we're dealing with right now, man. And the Most High is going to continue to allow us to deal with this. And he's going to allow his elect to prevail from this place, man. He's going to allow his elect, or cause his elect to get smooth out of here, man. Right? To ride off in a beautiful chariot out of here, man. To get the flip out of here. We got to get out of here, man. We must go, right? Again, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come, right? And we're going to continue to let these prophecies roll out until the very end, man. Until the Most High finally strikes that hammer down and says, You know, this is the famine of the word. Fuck it. This is the famine of the word. No more bringing it out, man. All you men, go back into your homes. Don't bring it out for these people anymore. And they're going to have to deal with it, man. Whatever lot they're in by the time of that destruction, that's just what they're going to be in, man. That's what they're going to have to deal with. Like Tariq Nasheed be saying, man, they're going to have to hold their own nuts, right? Now let's go to Psalms chapter 110. This is the book of Psalms chapter 110 or 110 and verse 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, and the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. Right? So again, and the day of the power, or in the day of the power of the elect, starting or heading or spearheaded by Yahushua, that is when our people are going to be willing, man. Right? They're going to be willing to serve the Most High in that time. Right now, that's not the time, man. Our people don't give it. Our people don't care, man. A majority of our people are going to be completely destroyed. A majority of our people could give a rat's, like my high school teacher would say, a respiratory gland of this truth, man. Because they're too enraptured and they're too caught up in this world, man. They're too ensnared in the traps of Babylon the Great. They love this place too much, man. They love America too much. Let's get them. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 137 and verse 5. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. Right? That's the spirit that King David was in, man. The last thing he wanted to do is forget Jerusalem. The last thing he wanted to do is forget the place where the Lord placed his name. Right? If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Who's the daughter of Babylon? That's talking about Babylon the Great, the United States of America, right? Which is headed and ran by the so-called white men right now. Is it not? Right? Starting with the elites, right? The international banking families. Again, verse 7 in the book of Psalms, chapter 137. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So the Most High is going to allow his elect to reward all these different nations, particularly and beginning with the Edomites. They're going to be rewarded first, man, by the children of Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? The 12 tribes of Slakia, the 12 tribes of Israel, as we read in Ezekiel, the 25th chapter, right? The Most High is going to be using the children of Israel to carry out all kinds of judgments upon the Edomites, man. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Right? So the Most High is going to be allowing the children of Israel to be dashing and bashing the Edomites against the stones. Let's go to Job chapter 27 and 12. All right, this is the book of Job chapter 27 and verse 12. Behold, all ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye thus altogether vain? This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, right? So these Edomites can try to recoup their lost numbers because apparently, or news came out this week that for the first time, quote-unquote minorities or people of color are outpacing birth rates in America over the Edomites or over the so-called white people, right? So their numbers are dwindling, right? So they can do their best to try to recuperate those numbers or make their numbers cease from stagnating to the point where they're actually growing in population, but it's not going to help them, right? So again, Job chapter 27 and verse 14. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offering shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Woo, that's heavy right there, man. So these Edomites, man, these Edomites are going to be completely annihilated, right? And who's going to be prospering? The children of Israel, right? The elect. Because in the day that the Most High brings forth that destruction of the Edomites, the children of Israel are going to be multiplying in the kingdom of heaven, right? The Most High is going to be causing his men to get double, man. Double what was given up here on the earth, man. It was like double what was given up here in this life, in this age. The Most High is going to be rewarding his servants, right? Let's go to, what was it? We'll go to Revelation chapter 1 first, or chapter 2, I should say, pardon me. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, and verse 26. Verse 25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken in shivers, even as I received of thy of my father. Right? So, matter of fact, let's go to it. Like it reads in Psalms, the first chapter, right? The Most High is going to be giving the elect, the heathen, as an inheritance, right? We're going to be joint heirs. Well, the elect is going to be joint heirs, or are going to be joint heirs with Yahushua and the kingdom of heaven. So the same way Yahushua is going to have servants, the elect are going to have servants, right? This is Psalm chapter 2 and verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession, right? So the Most High is going to be amazing. The Most High is going to be causing the heathen to be an inheritance to the children of Israel, right? And all these other nations are going to crumble and fall and stagger and bow to the children of Israel. All right, let's go to Isaiah 60. All right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60. And let's start at verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. Right? So the gross darkness has covered the people, but the Most High has unveiled his light unto his elect, right? Until that day is finally fulfilled, man. Until that day in which Esau is completely exposed. And how wonderful it is to see that Esau is stumbling and fumbling all over the place. Why? Because allegedly half of the Epstein files have been released, right? And there are reports that not even half have been released, right? There are reports that only 5% have been released. And Esau is not allowing any more to be released, man. Esau said, hey, we're not doing that, man. Okay, you've seen enough. Okay, and that's it. That's enough for you, right? And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about, and see. All they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then thou shalt see, and flow together, and thine heart shall fear, and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. Right? So, what are the forces of the Gentiles? The strength of the Gentiles, the possessions of the Gentiles. These are the nations are going to be taking their goods, and they're going to be forced to give it over to the children of Israel. The Israelites, again, who primarily consist of today as the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Right? This is Isaiah 60 and verse 6. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall shew forth the praises of Yahweh. You see that one? So they're going to be forced to bring forth all their gold, their silver, their jewelry, all their precious metals and whatnot are going to be brought over to the children of Israel. Right? They're going to be forced to do that, or they're going to be destroyed. Right? Matter of fact, let me go to it. I believe it's Zechariah. Yep. Beautiful. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahweh of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. Right? So they're going to be facing destruction, possible drought, if they don't, not possible drought, predetermined or imminent drought if they don't come up to serve the Most High. Right? We're going to go back to Isaiah 60. This is Isaiah 60 and verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Right? Like it reads in Psalms 149. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. You see that one? So the nations that don't serve the children of Israel, so again, that primarily consist of today as the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the other Israelites that look like the other nations. Those nations that don't serve the children of Israel are going to be completely wasted, right? They're going to be destroyed, man. They're going to be pummeled. They're going to be annihilated, man. Let me read that again. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. And that's whenever the good times are going to actually begin to roll, right? Let's go to Second Esdras real quick. Okay. Yep. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see that one? So Esau is the end of the world, or the end of the age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And right now, excuse me, and right now we're living in the end of the age. We're living in the last days of Esau's rulership, in the last days of Esau's kingdom. And we're waiting for the Most High to completely eradicate this place and build up that beautiful, righteous kingdom of the Lord that's going to be headed by our King Yahushua. Right? Let's go to who's 5? Okay. Yep. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 5, and verse 2. But iniquity shall But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have root shalt thou see wasted suddenly. Right? So that land of Israel is going to be attacked just as well as Babylon the Great is going to be attacked. But not like Babylon the Great is going to be attacked, right? Babylon the Great is going to be completely annihilated to the point where there's not going to be any inhabitants, right? Like you read in the book of Isaiah, the 34th chapter, right? And Revelation 18 that we'll get later. Again, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. We're going to skip down to skipping down to verse 5 in 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, or so like in verse 7 in 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft set out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, right? So you have all kinds of mayhem going on all over the earth, man. Children that don't respect their parents, right? Men that are dealing with other men while they have wives. Women that are dealing with multiple men while they're allegedly married to a husband, right? People doing all kinds of crazy, deranged drugs, right? People that think that doing drugs is okay are now taking poison drugs, man, right? K2, all kinds of things that they're mixing and incorporating inside the marijuana, right? All kinds of different crazy things, man. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 9. And salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber, right? So you're going to have this understanding hidden from a majority of people, right? But the Most High has opened the eyes and opened the ears and opened the hearts of the men that he wants this to be bestowed or brought to. The Most High has opened up the understanding unto the men that he's allowed it to, man, right? And understanding withdrawn itself into his secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth. One land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, no. Right, so that's going into, again, the famine of the word, and the Israelites, or the elect, truly, that are going to be left at the time of the judgment, right? They're going to be like pilgrims on the earth, walking to and fro, looking for refuge, man. Right? Trying to make it in these last days, man. Trying to figure out how the heck we're going to make it, man. Or how the elect is going to make it. Right? Not putting myself in that number, but Lord willing, I am of that number, man. And Lord willing, you brothers that are doing the work in truth and in sincerity are also of that number. Right? Right? There are going to be all kinds of different things that you have to understand, man. Whatever that MOTB, let's get it real quick. Let's get it real fast, man. Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and verse 16. And he causeth all both, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You see that one? And again, that's talking about the MOTB. That's talking about the mark of the beast, or the RFID microchip, man. Right? And the Most High is going to keep his elect from taking that chip. Right? But whenever that gets implemented, all the things that you see around here now are going to be completely done. The life that you live right now that seems to be rather stable is going to be completely done away with. That's going to be a thing of the past, right? That's going to be a situation in which you're going to have to dip out of your crib. There might be a situation in which the government tries to look for you, and you have to get away from the government, man. You have to get away from different agents that are trying to kill you, right? You're going to have to find a place for shelter. You're going to have to find a place for food, right? It's going to be a very crazy time, man. And at the same time, you're going to be trying to dodge this surveillance system that they're putting up right now, right? Okay, let's keep on reading. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So if you have this mark of the beast, or if you have this RFID microchip, then you're going to be able to continue to prosper. Well, not prosper, but you're going to continue to you're going to be able to continue in the ways of this world, man. You're going to be able to continue to partake in this economy. You're going to be able to purchase. You're going to be able to buy and sell. You're going to be able to work, right? You're going to be able to do these different things. But, of course, if you don't, then you're going to be completely annexed. You're going to be cast out of the society, right? Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. Where are we at here? For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Going into the percentage of the people that are going to be completely eradicated, man, out of the land, the children of Israel, right? 2/3 of the children of Israel being destroyed. Again, 666%, or I said 66.6%. Pardon me. All right. Where did those numbers come from? Nonetheless, let's go to the book of Peter's. Okay, where we at here? Okay. All right, this is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 6, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. So again, this place is preserved or reserved unto fire. And what's that fire? They're talking about the thermonuclear destruction, the ICBM missiles, as well as the lasers that are going to be coming from the chariots of the Lord, man. Let's keep on reading. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heaven shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. You see that one? So again, this place is going to be completely burned up. Right? Let the good times cease, man. Right? Let the good times cease. Right? And the bad times roll in. All kinds of different variations to this title, man. Right? Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And of course, this earth does the opposite of righteousness, man. This earth tells you that the law of the Lord is completely done away with and you don't need to obey the Most High. That's what this earth tells you. That's what the so-called Christian church tells you. That's what Babylon the Great, the United States of America, tells you. That's why the Most High is going to eradicate this place, and the Most High is going to be bringing forth his righteous kingdom on the earth. Right? Now let's go to... Is there anything else? Yep. I'm going to hold that there, and we're going to go to... This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right? So Babylon the Great, the United States of America, is going to soon fall, and it's going to become the habitation of devils, snakes, hawks, vultures, these different kinds of desert animals. They're going to be taking this place over, man. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. And that ye receive not of her plague. Right? So again, so the Lord is going to make it to where he's going to beam up his elect. He's going to be bringing forth a magnificent destruction on the earth. And his elect are going to be saved and preserved. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 43 and verse 1. But now, thus saith Yahweh, that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee, I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Fucking Josh. I want to give double honor to my apostles and elders that came before me, that brought me into this truth. This has been Let the Good Times Cease, Let the Bad Times Roll In, right? And ultimately culminating into the good times rolling in whenever the Most High sends his son back to destroy this place and bring forth that righteous kingdom, man. Lord willing, this is edifying and comforting to you brothers out there that are putting in this work and are holding fast to the doctrine and the commandments of the Lord, man. All right, until next time, thank you for watching. I want to say shalom.